Can I see them? Oh, okay. This is the thing. I just one podcast ago started being in a studio, and then just so you guys are fully fucking aware, I definitely am a podcast listener of y'all. So when I know that you guys do it in the car and I listen to you guys banter back and forth, I'm like, what the fuck am I going to a studio for?
I agree. But it looks super cool.
I actually want to know everything about where your studio is and everything that you have.
Here's the tea. It's run by comics. So they like do a deal for comics. So I'm like, oh, like what's going on? I'm gonna tell them the truth. Right? They're like, $30, everything you want. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? They're like, we'll do your videos, we'll do the audio, we'll make you social.
What else do you have to do for that $30?
I do blow them.
That's a cat does for us to get into restaurants.
No, I hate blowjobs. Like I hate.
No, hold on, back up. I remember when we were in London, England, they had that same kind of shit going on where they had those little studios that the people would go in and they would take care of all that shit.
Yes, they would. Yes, it was like a full business.
Wait, are we started?
That's what I wanted to ask you guys because I know we're doing both.
Yeah. It's recording. I can see it. I can see it. Where are you looking?
Yeah, where are you looking at us? Like, where are you looking over to the right?
You're on a TV. You're on a huge TV.
Can I see my fucking lipstick? Shit.
You guys look great. I am so totally into this because you guys, I feel like you are the cool moms that I have in my class that when the kid goes to the next grade, I'm like, listen, y'all bitches and me, we're going out. Like the end.
I would do that with you.
And I always wonder about, I'm always like, do they all have healthy sex lives? The parents in my class. And hearing you guys just talk about it with your husbands on your podcast, I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm into the raw mom honesty.
Yeah, we don't do anal, really.
I know, I heard. You don't.
What? That's not weird.
You both said you are not going to do anal. You're not going to go ass to mouth.
Yeah, we're tropical breeze.
Oh, I believe it's a quote.
Oh, right. Second after. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. Again, life is long, and obviously I keep talking about it because I want to get better at things and try new things.
Well, I'm not gonna, you're gonna try anal.
It's not. Obviously, I've tried it.
Oh, you're gonna try again. You're gonna go.
I just feel like I'm so young.
Mm-hmm.
You have lots of time.
I have so much time to try all the things.
Got it. Because if she talks about it, then he's gonna be. We can't not do anal together. I won't talk about it in front. No, we'll do it together. Oh my God, you don't think Mark won't say I did anal last night?
If you're doing it, I'm doing it. I'm
definitely.
Does he listen to the podcast?
What? Yeah, no, they don't. There's too many.
Doesn't either. And I'm like, okay, I'll just say what I want. But every once in a while, he'll sneak in and be like, "Remember when you said?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh.
How long have you been in a relationship for?
5.5 years. 5.5 years. Yeah. So
and after 2 years, they say it gets stale.
What gets stale? And who? And who?
What are you telling me?
I don't know about this.
So basically, when we talk to like a relationship and sex experts and stuff like that, and we're like, people, a lot of people think that it's still going to have that butterfly feeling.
Actually just women, but just so you know, it's just women. It's not men. So women.
So two men would never have that problem.
No, when you're a woman, your desire is different than a man's. So women think they don't get you have to get a new partner in order to get
horny again.
Yeah.
Like wildly horny.
Yeah, like where you want to rip their clothes off in a closet.
You're
like
right.
And an elevator.
So two men would never have that problem.
Two men never have that. It's just because a man would just
lucky fucking you.
Yeah, a man would just look at something and be like, "Oh, I can."
My jaw is agape. Like I
don't.
Oh well, sorry to tell you.
Yeah, a woman's lady bits. They don't drip just all the time. It's like you.
I have to do it tonight. Yes, I'm 100% have to do it tonight.
Yeah,
$1,000,000%.
But yeah, I have to do it tonight.
Yeah, good luck.
Or he's gonna be mad all weekend.
Really?
Oh, I love this.
Don't tell anybody.
Because here's the thing too, is I always wonder, like, first of all, we're not married. Do I hint about getting married? All the fucking time. Like, literally all the time. Like, so that's like where we're at. And I'm over here like, if I am working this hard for marriage after 5.5 years, like, am I gonna have to like work for sex in like 10? Like,
I just can't believe after 5 years you still want.
I know, I do. I do. Here's the thing, I'm psychotic. And like I feel like I found somebody who like can, like, I will just look at him, I'll be like, you don't understand. I know that everything that I'm saying is ass backwards to you, but we need to do it this way. And he's like, okay. I'm like,
is he older? Is he older than you?
He's 3 years older than me. So
what does he do?
So he were I'll give you guys the real tea. The people often ask, and I don't really ever say, because his people who work for him they follow me, and they figured it out and like came to him. He's like, I'm your fucking boss. Like, what? It was like weird. So I told people that he was a florist, and I put up all these fake pictures of him and like these flowers, and people were literally sending me emails. They're like, will he do my wedding? Like, these are gorgeous. Like, what are his rates? Blah, blah, blah. Like, these are the dates. Is he open? So we'll say florist, but he actually works for this really big company that's 100% always listening to you. And yeah. Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. No, I understand.
Anything you want at any time, and it'll be at your door like tomorrow. It's a rainforest.
I got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. I love that. I love all of that. I love you guys. And you live together.
We do, yeah. Yeah.
And when did you start podcasting?
So my podcast journey started about a year and a half ago, and it was a long road. It was a long road. And then
tell us more about that.
So I started interviewing. The concept originally was interviewing celebrities and notable people who used to be teachers. And it was great. Like, I really enjoyed it. I was getting a lot out of it. The numbers weren't there. Then I pivoted, and I'm a kindergarten teacher. And I just started, okay, this is what happened last week. All this crazy shit. And people were like, yes! And it blew up.
Wait, last week? This happened last week?
Oh, no. This happened in January.
Oh, talking about
kindergarten.
What happened last week in kindergarten?
Started, that whole process.
Did you have to quit being a teacher because of this?
I still teach. I literally went from school to this chair. I just came from teaching kindergarten.
I've got a kindergartner, and I would like her to have you. Her teacher is great, but
I can't believe you're still a teacher. Oh, I thought you were former teacher, current comedian, going on tour. You still go to the classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's where you get your material, right?
Yeah, and then summers off, I can do both of my things that I love. Like, it is a dream. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to get it twisted. Here's the thing. Like, your boy's trying to do some bigger things in comedy, too. So when the day comes, I'm going to be like, love you, kids, but... I mean, I'm going to live off a teacher salary again.
Because our agent was like, this is Joe, and he's having a big moment in Hollywood right now. He's going to be on the podcast. And we're like, all right, we love that.
Do you watch?
He's having a big moment
That's
right
what they
now.
said.
Big moment in Hollywood.
So I'm at dinner at my mom's house earlier, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go do a podcast tonight. Like, we live in Canada. Everyone loves hockey. It's the Leafs game tonight. We're starting off what is it called? Playoffs. So I'm like, but Mom, I'm going to do a podcast. She's like, oh my gosh, podcast at night. I'm like, I think he's a teacher. He's having a moment in Hollywood, Mom. I got to go. It's going to be great. He was on fucking Ellen.
It's true.
Whoa. Let's just take a minute right there.
We can take a beat. We can do it.
So How did you get in? Like, I know you did the pranking of the spelling bee on YouTube, which was fucking hilarious. But then how do you get the call from
Ellen? Because she loves teachers too.
I know, but
I think that Ellen has, she's in everybody's phone, and she just knows when something's about. Like, she's got a little like tingle that happens. It was probably two weeks later, and I got a call from her people. Yeah, but the process to get on the show is not.
How did they get your number?
Literally, that's the scary part, right?
No.
Yeah, like straight up.
So you picked up the phone, Joe. So you take us through. Go.
So I was living in Detroit at the time, and when your phone rings and it says Los Angeles, actually, it said, what's that area next to Los Angeles that everything's from? Don't remember. When it says Los Angeles,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you answer. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna answer my phone. This
Anaheim.
Is weird. Things are blowing up. It wasn't Anaheim either.
Culver City?
Not Culver City. This is gonna bother
Beverly
me.
fucking Hills?
No,
Beverly Hills. It wasn't Brea. Shit. We'll get there. It rings and I answer it, and they're like, "Hey, this is blah 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 from the Ellen DeGeneres show." I was like, "This is a lie. Like, this is a lie. Like, this isn't true." Just to sum it up for you, the process was that conversation, a Skype call that night, 2 more phone calls, 2 more Skype calls, then a call in the middle of the day while I'm teaching saying you're coming to the show tomorrow.
So did you tell the principal? Like, they
knew. The principal knew. I'm assuming.
The superintendent told me not to go. He's like, "You're not going on Ellen." And I was like, this is the thing. You're wrong. I was like, I will quit my job if I have to. I'm going. What are you talking about? I'm going.
Fucking Ellen.
Why didn't they want you to go?
I'm an anomaly in education. You cannot say it like it is in education at all.
Yeah.
Because then you lose your job. And my whole thing is the way that education is and the way that teachers live their life. People don't actually know how hard it is to be a teacher and how hard it is to be a good teacher. And the only way we're going to change that is to talk about it. And they knew that about me. So they're like, he's not going on national television. And I was like, the fuck I am.
Oh, I had to tell you, when I was a kid, I once saw my teacher out of the classroom, and I couldn't believe they were a person. I was like, oh my fucking God.
You think we live in the school?
I'm like, what are you doing? How do you have a husband? How do you have sex?
That's exactly
how do you have children? What is going on?
My mom was the office lady at the school that my kids go to, but she's there for
Yes.
What's it called?
The HBIC of a school. I always call the office manager the HBIC, the head bitch in charge, 100%.
Head bitch in charge.
My mom, Giselle, is the head bitch in charge. Like, every kid thinks she's the principal.
Yeah.
You want anything done, you go to Giselle. And she was there for 20 years. And when children would see her outside of, like, the school, like, out with, like, her grandkids or me, they almost didn't recognize her.
Yes.
Like, who is this woman who has a life outside of this? So, okay. So then you freaking go to Ellen. Good for you. You had to take the day off. They gave it to you?
No, I took it. I took it off. I had no days left either because I went to Lollapalooza that year. so that was a thing.
So then you go and then it's amazing. It's amazing.
Can I tell you how amazing it was?
Thank you, please.
So, Ellen's got this bad rap in Hollywood right now, and people hound me for the tea all the time. I don't have any. This is the tea. This is the truth. So they were like, "We know you're a comedian. We're painting you as a teacher here. So this isn't your last comic standing audition. Please just be yourself, do your thing, and then, it'll just be how it is." I'm like, okay. So I go on the show. I'm just being myself. And then they said, oh, by the way, if Ellen gets up in between commercial breaks to fix her hair, get a cup of coffee, take notes, she's working. Like, this is her job. So just don't take offense to that. She'll be back before cameras turn back on. I'm like, no problem. Like, I'm just happy to be here. The cameras turn off the first couple times. We're just sort of whatever. So around the last time the cameras turned off for a commercial break, she leaned in. She's like, so I heard that you're a comedian. I was like, yes, I am. And she's like, you're very funny. And I was like, wow, well, thank you. And she's like, no, I don't think you understand. You're really funny. You have to do something with that. And then
dude, I just got goosebumps.
It's written on my desk. I etched it into my desk. I read it every single day. And that is where it kicked my ass into gear. And I had about 45 minutes of my 1 hour show written that was just like a pipe dream. Like, I'll take this out really big one day. I was just kind of performing locally sort of at the time. And then that was done. And I was like, let's go, dog. Like, let's do it. So I started doing it. It was fantastic. The story gets better. Then Ellen,
it's still good.
A year later, she's filming her special in Seattle, 1 block from my house. And I snagged one of the last tickets to this thing. Now, at the end of the thing, they were like passing the microphone around to like people who raised their hand. And I got the microphone and I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. She's like, the spelling test guy. And she's like,
no.
And I was like, yeah. She's like, hold on. She goes to everybody. She's like, this guy is so funny. You will not believe it. Tell him what you did. I can't wait to hear what you're up to. And I was like, hey, I'm a comedian. I'm a teacher. And I was on the show last season. And I just wanted to let you know that this is what you said to me. And you kicked my ass in gear. And I'm about to go on my first national tour. And she was like, good for you. Good for you. And 3 weeks later, I started my tour. I was like,
oh my God. Oh my God. I almost feel like this is not the end for you and Ellen.
You know, I had a little moment when because she announced this week that she's ending the show.
Yeah.
You're taking her show over. So are we?
No, we are.
No, yeah, we thought so. We're like, so we are. So
I'm into that.
We could do it together. How about that? I mean,
yeah, when you guys,
I'll be a guest host. Great.
Done on the ones and twos. Yep. I don't think it's done. It's obviously done for being on the show. Her last season of the show is going to be enormous with A-list after A-list.
Wait, it's not right now, or she's going? Isn't it over now?
I didn't follow up. Did she say that this is going to be the last season?
No, it's like we still have like a year, I think, with her.
Okay.
Doesn't it? Oh, so she's starting again in September.
I don't know, but I feel like whatever it was, we still have a bit of time. So what are you saying? Because
you're going to go back on the show.
You're saying that you're going to have one more run on there.
I don't know for sure, but I can just like feel that we're gonna work together, or like connect again.
God, you're like us. I love this.
I just can, because I think she started it kind of.
And when she talks about the first time, you mean that we all know the story about when Ellen went on Carson and the whole thing and how nervous you didn't even have that whole buildup of trying to be a comedian. You were coming on to be
common misconception. I've been doing comedy for 11 years. So I had been hustling.
So you had the intention of showing off your comedianness in a guise of a
in disguise. Well, because here's the thing. I don't know if you guys know. Teachers are, God, what's the word? Poor.
What?
So poor. Teachers are poor.
Yes. Poor. Yes.
Broke. Yeah.
You have to work. It like the majority of teachers are working second or third time jobs. So I was a teacher, then I went to teach a cycle class, then I was a comedian.
And then you spend your money on the classroom because you have to spend it because they don't give you enough money for the classroom. So you have to buy things for your own classroom.
Yep. True top. Like my first 5 years teaching, there were a handful of times where my first paycheck would come in. I'd pay all my bills and have nothing left for the rest of the week. Like I'd drive to work and like I was getting paid that day. I'm like, well, if you don't eat lunch today, you'll get it. And that was happening. So doing comedy was literally putting gas in my car to get to work. Like that was my job.
So let's go back to like a little bit of comedy for a second. So
Natalie's like, I don't like that story. I want to talk about fun. Like I
don't like talking about poor people.
I don't care that you're poor or that you work your ass off and like are changing lives. Let's go back to Ellen.
I'm into it.
I want to talk about how like I have heard that like going on doing stand-up comedy is the most, and I can only imagine the scariest thing all by yourself on stage, and your job right there is to make that crowd laugh. And when it falls on you, but yet you have to keep going with the next one and just hoping that they're gonna, like, what was the first time like, and was it like that? Were you in a stand-up, like, where were you the first time you did comedy?
Detroit. So, but here's the thing though, comedy and teaching are the same thing. Like if you're good at one, you're good at both. Like what's scarier is standing in front of 27 5-year-olds and knowing that at any moment they could take your ass out. Like tie me to the tetherball pole with a jump rope and it's done. Like that's scarier. But comedy made me a better teacher and vice versa because the kids are the hecklers. I can take, like, if I can what these kids are going to throw at me, I can deal with a couple drunk assholes in my show who don't like my shit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But taking the teacher lens out of it, being a comic, you literally put your heart out on the stage. Like, I wrote these words. I wrote 1 hour of material about my truth on stage. Let's go. And when your zingers don't hit, you're just like, you just take it so personally. Because
you cut out 20 other jokes to get to that one that you thought would definitely be the one they would love.
Uh-huh. Yep. And you're just like, is it me? Like, what about me? Don't you guys like, what did I do wrong to not get your, we're also sick. We're mental. Like, I need 500 of you to, can we just, I have ADHD if you have pick up on it. I'm not medicated right now.
So do we.
We're going to roll it. Hey. I cannot believe that I'll stand in a room of however many people and I can get you to just like right now, everyone in the room laugh. And again, right now, I'm like, am I a fucking wizard? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
trying to card.
So sorry. Be loud. Sorry. There's less about worrying about them not laughing because you're such a fucking wizard magician that can say the thing and they all laugh. And isn't it so crazy? And then you just feel it and they're all laughing at you because they think you are so funny and you're bringing joy to their lives just the same way that you're right. The kindergarten children, you bring them happiness and joy. You're right. It is. There's so much in common.
And I love to talk to them. Like, I love to talk to the fans. Like, I live for it because it's like me, like you paid money to come see me. Like, you want to hear what, like, I want to talk to you. And even my managers and agents are like, we gotta go. We gotta go.
I have to tell you, we went on tour and we had been to probably like 100 cities, and Kat would sit backstage right before we would go out.
Who was it?
Neighbors. It's all my neighbors. Some people are coming over to watch the hockey game. Someone's walking their dog. We're just like fielding the calls. And we'd be backstage and Kat, I mean, we did find this answer about it not just being magic.
Yeah, I did.
But she would say, oh my God, like, we'll be back. Why did 2,000 people spend their money and their time to come and see us? She'd be like, Natalie.
And Natalie's like, stop it.
I was like, don't do this to me right before we go out.
I don't know why
there's got to be a fucking reason they're here.
You guys ever like choke up about it too? Like,
yes.
Oh
no.
When she found out why, she realized she had a situation where she found out why they came.
Do you know why? I can tell you why.
Please tell me.
It was a moment.
Okay, so
it was a moment like this.
I won't tell you the whole story, but I will tell you that when you're able to touch an energy or transcend a feeling of joy or happiness or calm. Like, I know our certain situation when people see us
joy, happiness, and calm, because calm is a really good feeling too.
Yeah, they see safety. So there's safety within our relationship, and it's a pure relationship. And joy, safety, and calm is a good feeling, which you can't find in most places.
People look for it in drugs, alcohol, pills, like everything.
So when you go, so for the two of us who don't like claim to be comedians, when they see our relationship transcend all the bullshit in the world and see like a purity in it, they're like, the world's actually a good place. Like, I can find joy and calm in this. And like, it makes me feel good about the world because so much shit is piled up on you. So when they come to you, they feel joy and calm, which is like, I know I can go there and he's confident and he's probably making light of shitty situations.
She had an example of observing two heterosexual men.
They were cops. I didn't know they were cops, but the relationship between the two of them and
made her feel good, and it reminded her of us, and it made her, the next time we went on stage, she was like, I know why we're here.
Their intimacy was so intimate, not sexual, and the way they took care of each other and talked to each other was like, I couldn't stop watching it. And I it was so busy, and I had just been in a car accident and they had been in an accident. And it's like the way they were talking to each other made me leave like euphoric and happy that, and then I had just gotten in a car accident. I was sitting in a fucking shitty place. And I was like, the way you two, and I was watching them, they must've thought I was a weirdo. And then I had to start talking like, what's going, like, I can't figure you two out because it was too intimate to be a relationship.
And she literally texted me and she was like, I know why they buy tickets.
Yeah. And I was like, because people see us and they're like, you make me feel like the world is okay. They made me feel like the world was okay, because if two people can come together for no reason and no expectation, but for joy, well, is there anything better?
No. And then you know that you can do that for people because you also do that for the children.
I have a wedgie.
Sorry. I gotta know what, like, okay, so my whole life I thought Kids Say the Darndest Things was the most fabulous show ever.
I will host at some point. Like, that is on the vision board.
See, this is what I'm seeing. Yeah. So the old man, I don't remember his name.
100%.
He was amazing. I'm sorry. Like, I hate that Bill Cosby was the one, but he fucking cracked me up when he did it with the kids.
He delivered
and
well.
Now Tiffany Haddish, I have not seen an episode. Have you watched?
Yes.
You think you can do better?
Oh, Tiff's my girl. Like that.
Okay.
She cracks me up. But
you have more experience with kids.
I will say that. And I think that she does really great for what she knows how to do with kids. But I feel like the reason that show works the best is because the host can be the kid.
Oh my God, 100%.
Like I know I am always 4 steps ahead of my kindergartners, and that's why I can do it. And that's why the things that happen in the classroom can be so funny, because I'm like, if I do this, I have no idea what you're gonna say, but it's gonna be great. So let's roll the dice.
Because when I immediately started talking to you, I was thinking, oh my gosh, like how amazing would it be? Kids Say the Darndest Things is, I mean, it's a joy. It's been a joy to the world for decades and decades. But if you were to host it, you would bring out something in those children that would be something nobody else could do, because you know them better than anyone else. And it would be, so I love that you're going to host it one day. I see that for you. I feel it.
When I used to volunteer in the classroom, I used to do the snack table so they could talk to me, so I didn't have to explain anything. Well, number one, I was always a fuck up. I'm the parent who fucked up constantly. I want to let you know. We would have scientists in the classroom.
He knows parents like you in the classroom,
and they would explain that. I would have to explain like the activity, and the scientists would be talking. I'm like, I am not understanding.
Oh my
God,
what I mean? Never. And I'd be like to the other parent, like, when do we switch? When do we? I don't have.
So I would sit at the snack table. I'd volunteer for snacks, so I could get information out of them. So we could sit. I could ask a million questions. I could and I used to drive these 2 kids when I was like not married, and I was single, and I would drive them to school every day. They were in kindergarten, and they used to tell me stories about the weekend. Mommy sleeps on the couch. Daddy. She loves the pool. Yes, Daddy's mad because he says she likes the pool guy literally likes the pool guy too much, and now they don't sleep in the same bed anymore, and Mommy has to go sleep on the couch. All the shit, and I was like, oh my God.
So you get this all the time now.
Every day, every minute of every day.
So you get all this amazing content from the children. Now you go and do a stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
Are you afraid that the parents are in the audience?
I want them to be. Bring it.
I want them to be.
Here's the thing. So this is how this started. When I first started making like a little bit of a local name for myself, 2 parents from my class were in the audience, and I had no idea until I walked out to do my thing, and I was like, oh my God. And I told myself at this moment, I was like, you have a choice to make. You can do what you have previously written, which you know will work, or you can switch it up right now and you could bomb. What are you going to do? And I was like, without risk, there's no reward. So I'm going to risk it and hope that there's a big reward. So I did my normal stuff and I did really well. It was a good show. I walked off. The house was empty. Everybody left. These two moms with their husbands are drinking at the bar, waiting for me. And I'm like, it's over. It's fucking over. I took one step out and they go, we fucking love you were talking about my kid. I know. I was like, this is hilarious. This is amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And they loved it. Then they come back the next weekend with more parents from my class. And then my staff starts coming. And then I almost lost my shit. My boss came. And I did not talk to her after the show. I was too nervous. That Monday, she comes into my classroom. She closes the door behind me. And I'm like, it's done. This is where it's done. She goes, you have a gift. And if you don't tackle it, then I'll fire you. I was like, this is unbelievable.
And you know what?
Are you at a public school?
Not anymore. I am at a private school now, which is very funny because
even more fucking juice
and
from the private school.
You're also not like a mean person. So you're not, I think there's like two kinds of people. Like there's people who make fun of people and for like, mean reasons. And then you love being a teacher and then then you're a comedian on top of that. So it's like, that there's two very different reasons. I want to ask you a question. Hold on. I'm going to, I'm sorry. I'm just rocking out here. From a mom person. Wow. Why
she's in her husband's car and we don't know how it works, but we did see low battery. We do not want this shit to die.
No, I don't. This is not how
I roll. We don't want that.
Here, you
Who's
take
the other account?
I'll hold it.
Okay. Hey, we just got some.
You're just hooked up on there.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, there we go. Oh dear. Okay,
here we go. Other people.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh dear.
Oh my God! Why aren't you at our school?
All right. So I have to ask you because obviously we have a mom audience, and it's more of a serious question, and obviously they are, when the parents walk in, what do you wish they knew as a teacher to a parent? Like, what do you wish you could be like, like if you could have real talk versus like the talk you have to have, is there anything you would say to parents like to set up for success? Honestly, like when I go into parent teacher interviews, I feel like they sit down and they have to tell me all the work they've done. I'm like, is my kid a dick bag?
They open up the book and they show me the fucking letters. I'm like,
oh my God, I love this. I love this.
Gonna be
does my kid have a problem? Are they a nice human?
Yeah.
Are they like showing their penis in the back corner, which would be fine. We just need to have a discussion about that.
Like what do you wish you could say to a parent who overthinks, over worries? Like, what are the red flags you see that go from parent to child?
Okay, and I love that you're giving me this opportunity too, because your audience is the moms, so this is like kind of important.
Yes, it is important.
In a fun way.
I am the teacher. I'm a little bit different than what you're describing too, because like my biggest thing is like you're gonna come in the classroom one day and you're gonna leave a good person. Like that is the number one thing. Like I need you to understand how to like you don't have to like everybody in our class. I don't care if you hate them, but you have to respect them and you're gonna work together. Like those are my biggest things too. So I'm not the teacher who does like the numbers and the give you the letters and their reading level, unless that's what you want, because I can give that to you. But that's for me, right? The biggest thing that I would want parents to understand too is that they're like, your kid is doing this thing, right? And I have like 20 something others of that. So when this one thing is happening with your kid, I totally get it. I totally understand. Like I'm going to give you the tea. I'm going to talk about it too. But like, this is my job to provide the service for yours and all these others. So when we are talking and I'm going along with what you're doing and you want these reports on behaviors and things like that, why are you now attacking me because so many times when you have like you asked me, I will give you the bad news. I'm not going to lie to you. There's no reason for it. If I'm telling you what happens in the classroom, don't you dare tell me he doesn't do that at home, because it's not true. Don't tell me that.
Oh my gosh, so they take it personally.
They do take it personally, and I get
Which of course you do. Of course you do, because it's your child. But like, I would die to get like inside information about my child that I didn't know that I can now go and handle.
And that's the thing too. It's like you want the fly on the wall. You've always wanted that about your kid. Well, the fly is me. I'm telling you what's happening. They're not going to act like that for you. I'm the teacher. And also, it goes the other way around. A kid might be unbelievably amazing in the classroom, but a hellion at school. And when I'm giving all this positive, they'll be like, you're not tough enough on him. No, it's just this is what's happening in school. I'm not the teacher that's going to sugarcoat it for you. But the number one thing that just gets me is it's like, why are you not believing what I'm saying? And I always tell parents this. You were their first teacher, not me, not anybody else who they're going to have after this. You were their first teacher. I respect you so much for the groundwork that you laid down because they wouldn't be here right now if you didn't take the time to teach them everything that it took to get here. So why would I disrupt that right now? I'm like, it has to be 50-50 or to get 100. If I'm doing my thing, you got to do your thing too. And like, we have to trust and listen to each other. And that's all I want. But
you're a team. You're like, I'm your teammate. We're a team. I'm not looking.
Your child 100. Now spends most of their time with me. Cause I mean, when your kid goes to school all day, like our kids spend most of the time in the classroom and a little bit of time with us. So why would we not want to like tag team with their teacher? But I just feel like when you say like, you were their first teacher, and then all of a sudden they're finally hearing of a problem. They're like, well, that must have been what I did wrong. And instead of being like, how can I change these things and how can we work together? They're like, I fucking failed. Like, cause they're still into themselves because they haven't like grown as like a human into a parent. And so now they're taking it all upon themselves instead of being like, let's work on this brand new creature that has nothing to fucking do with you.
Parents personalize it a lot.
I'm so glad that we're having this conversation because I've honestly never thought about this through the lens of like parents taking it so personally in that way.
Well, parents,
rather than just talking about the kid.
Their kids are their egos.
Oh my God.
And when you have your ego walking around and someone tells you, that they're, I'll be completely honest with you. My daughter, when she was a little girl, she used to cheat in kindergarten off her friend. And the teacher was like, she's cheating off. And I'm like, I don't know how you cheat in kindergarten, but okay. But she, she was so shy. She didn't want to take a risk and she would not talk to him, would not take her coat off. She didn't want to ask
a question.
Just sat there.
She didn't know the answer, but she found a really, really smart best friend who had all the right answers.
And so he was like, I can't mark her. I can't give her a grade. I don't know. I can't tell you anything. And I remember, as a teacher, he brought that to me, and I'm very outgoing. So I didn't understand her as a mom. I was like, just talk to the fucking guy. He's your teacher, but that didn't work for her, so we had to find a solution and all. I mean, we did all the things, but the point was, it's really hard when you realize your kid is not who you are.
It's not you.
And you have to understand that, even if you want all of these things for them, it doesn't fucking matter. You have to let it go. And in kindergarten, in a big way, like, I know you can see personalities of kids. Like, I know it at 4 and 5, what's going on with them, like that, right?
Yeah, I know who they're going to be. Yeah, 100%.
I know. My mom said that in the office, and I don't know if this is like appropriate or inappropriate, but she would be like, the kids would come in junior. We have junior kindergarten in Canada, so that means you start when you're 4. She would be like, kids would come in, and she would be like, I know that child is gay. Like, and I just know it. And then all of a sudden they come out to their parents when they're older, and the parents come to me and go like, oh my God.
Not you.
No,
you?
to my mom, the head of the fucking office, and be like, oh my God, my kid, like, gay, or they're transitioning and all this. My mom's like, could have told you when they were 4. Should have asked me.
1 million.
Like everything, she could see everything in these kids. It's just,
I have another controversial question for you.
Oh,
ask me.
Do teachers have favorites?
Are you joking me? Absolutely. 1,000,000%. And if any teacher tells you they don't, they're lying.
Wait, let me hear. What? Say it again.
If any teacher tells you that they don't have a favorite, they're lying. And here's my hot take, okay? The full classroom of kids, there is 20, whatever, however many is in your class, right? You take 20 strangers right now and put them in your house, put them in your car. You're not going to like them all. And you're going to have one that you gravitate to. And it happens every single year. Some of them press your buttons. Some of them are going to knock you. Some of them just aren't your person. And that's cool. But the name of the game is they have to, we are the best actors. Like, you should get your teaching certificate and your SAG-AFTRA card at the same time, because they all think you love them. They all think that they're my favorite. They're fucking not.
What makes a kid, and this is actually an interesting, this is an interesting question to anybody who wants to be the most charming in the room. What makes someone your favorite?
It's not that like Eddie Haskell, kiss your ass, make you pictures all the time thing. I love the weird kids. I love the kids who just have personality and just like bring that personality out. Like we do this thing in the class right now where I bring up a bunch of emojis and we end the day by them pointing to whatever emoji they feel in their body, and then they can explain to the class why they feel.
Talk about speaking to their freaking like age and where the world that they live in. Thank you.
Right, they think in emojis. So one of the emojis has a mask on, right? So this one kid, he goes, I'm feeling really happy and silly and sick. And I was like, oh my God, this is like at the prime of COVID. We are in person. And I'm like, oh, you're feeling sick? Like, I'm gonna call Celeste the nurse and we're gonna send you to the office. And he goes, it's a joke. It's a joke. I was like, I love you. Oh, okay. I gotta tell you guys this too. The other ones too. Like, we go to this garden, this old woman's garden in the community every week, and
does she have vegetables or just flowers?
She lets them pick and eat certain things. So the other day it was kale. She's like, "Oh, you can eat the kale." We thought that meant like you would pick a leaf and eat the leaf that you picked. That same kid that I just told you about, straight up beaver styled it, went straight for the stalk and was just sitting there, no hands, gnawing at this whole stalk of kale. I'm like, you're my favorite. I love you so much.
Oh my God, that is so. I guess the other question is like, when the parents have an ish, do they have an ish with you, or can you be like, no, it's your kid? Like, are you able to call the parents out, or like, I'm sure they ride your ass at private school. Like, I'm
private
sure
school is next level.
They ride you.
We have 7 kids. Less than half are in private, and the rest are in public. And we just like, if my daughter, for the teachers at private.
If my daughter has an issue, I'm like, don't worry. If it's a problem for you, there'll be 15 letters from all the parents. Like, I don't need to do anything. I'm just sit down over here and I will watch the other parents have an issue with it. And I'm like, because I do not have time to care.
Well, that's the thing is I am from Detroit. So try me not, actually. When parents come at me like that, usually it's an email. I pick up the fucking phone and I'll call you right now. I'll be like, hey, just wanted to talk about this. Half the time they'll eat their words right there.
To talk. They want to do it.
They want to write. They're going to be a little keyboard warrior and try me. Don't try me. Let's talk about this. You have an issue. I'm going to talk about it with you too, because we need to get to the bottom of this. But you treating me like trash is going to get us both nowhere. So let's cut it and do it. And
your principal supports your candor.
So it's the cadence that I just gave you is not exactly how I say it, but those are that is the words. That is the words. And I will say, like, there's really no need for this type of tone. Like, let's just get to the bottom of what we need to do. And I've worked in like 5 different schools, and I've had principals who are just so not into it. And they're like, you got to tone it down. I'm like, well, then your staff's going to get nowhere if you let the parents walk all over us.
Exactly.
That's that. I bet your teacher moms right now who are listening are just like,
my other question is confidence in moms. Like, do you know when that mom walks in, like where they stand, because you know, all of our moms, majority of them say they go to bed every night wishing they had done it differently. Like, and I'm not, and I am not.
They are so hard.
What did you just say?
I said, really?
Yeah,
they're
really
so hard.
Wishing they would have mommed differently.
Yeah,
they really do.
Wow,
like
that hurts.
I would say 80 to 90% go to bed at night and think about all that they did wrong and how they can do better tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Your mouth
like that honestly made my heart hurt. Like that made my heart, because the kids
feeding them.
From birth and everything that they did.
No, from feeding them to helping them with their school to like parenting them to lessons to everything. We're so hard on ourselves for like
you don't see that in the classroom. You do not see that. Like, you don't see the mom coming in being like, never.
No, never. I never have. But that really upsets me, because like the kids, like that's why I do it. The kids are so great. And they wouldn't have made it to me like if that mom wasn't putting her absolute best foot forward. Maybe it's not like friggin' Kathleen down the street doing some other shit, but like you're doing your best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that really that really kind of got me.
Oh, I think that when, you know, you see our kids as a teacher so differently than we do as moms, right? Like you get to see them as people where we have to parent them and you get to experience them. So we have to parent them and you get to actually be with them as a person, where
you get to see them in their world, in their social world.
You get to see them at their best. And we get them when they fall apart at the end of the day. Worst. You know, I'm saying, no, mostly they're the best. They show up. I say majority show up as their best, because if they're the worst with you, they're probably the worst at home too.
I've actually always wondered this. Okay. So my kids are like, basically they like throw up and vomit when I pick them up from school. And they're like they're just like, they take the world out on me. But the teachers are always like, oh my gosh, they're such lovely kids. Like, does it ever happen that the kids are super shitty at school and lovely at home?
Yes.
No.
Oh yeah.
No way.
Oh
no
yes.
way.
Oh yes. Yes, and this is why. So I've had the other thing happen a few times, the exact opposite, where moms will call me off hours and be like, they won't listen to me. They're going to listen to you. Can you just tell them to do this one thing? And I'll be like, oh, no problem. I'm sorry, but no problem. But the other totally happens. And it's typically moms who I am going to give the benefit of the doubt and believe that they're doing their best, but it's enabling. And like, I have one who is, when we teach over Zoom, right?
Yes.
I will watch him throw shit at his family. I will watch him through the freaking nastiest glares and looks and breaks down.
Oh, yeah,
Would never do it for me. Would never. Like, he's the happiest, most charming, outgoing, engaged, responsible.
Yeah.
It is like...
It's boundaries. It sounds like boundaries.
But I feel like sometimes maybe they act out at school because at home they need to be perfect.
The issues where I've had it like at home and perfect is there's like real trauma that we have unearthed. And that's where it gets like real thick. But it's like that's a thing too, is being a teacher, you're a nurse, you're a comedian, you're a first responder, you're a mandated
mom,
reporter, right? Yeah. So you have, you're a mom, you're a dad. Like I've had so many kids in foster care who have like spent Christmas with me and my family just because like we had to, you know what I mean? So the scope of what we have around a child is not even close to what a parent has, because we don't have like love for that kid, so we can identify like really important things that a parent might just be like, oh, this is just my kid, and be like, well, I think we gotta get your kid like tested for some things.
Oh my gosh.
Or it's true.
And I appreciate that so much. I remember the moment it happened, I was like, I feel like something's not right. And the teacher sat me down and she was like, I thought it was just a thing, but now I realize she needs to be tested. And I was like, I never would have come to this conclusion on my own. And I'm so thankful that you saw my daughter outside of my own eyeballs. And now we're going to actually make some like headway.
It's a team. It's a team.
It's a team.
It really
okay.
is a team. It's a beautiful team.
So so how are you going to handle tour and being a teacher? Because we have been,
and how's your boyfriend gonna handle tour?
Okay, so I just want
to
I'm gonna give you a little backstory. So like Kat and I never left our children for 100,000 years. We were so overprotective of them. We did everything for them. I mean, not in a weird way, but just in a way. We thought no one else could do it. Then all of a sudden our business started, and then they were like, it's a long story, but we ended up on tour, and they're like, you're going to go on tour basically for a week, a month.
And with Funny on tour. I don't know anymore. But we were so funny.
And we were like, okay, we're going to go because this is a great opportunity to grow our business that we never even thought we would have, and also make money for the family and all of that. So later, hosen, children, husbands, moms, babysitters take care of the kids for the first time ever. And now we have been stuck in a fucking lockdown in Canada for way too long. And now we have tour dates coming out as of September 22nd, launching in Fargo, North Dakota. Is that where Fargo is?
Yeah.
And we have all these cities, and we're heading out, and we're getting the tour bus, and we're doing it all again. But that's part of our job, and we're so excited to go and do it. But as a kindergarten teacher, how do you navigate tour?
Summer.
My tour starts the 4 days after school gets out, and my last show is 2 days before the first day of school.
So how many shows in the whole summer are you doing?
24.
Amazing.
24.
Now
24. I'm sorry, 24 cities. I'm doing 24 cities.
So how are you traveling between the cities?
So I fly to whatever major hub it is, and then I will drive to about 5, and then whatever the biggest hub is next to that last city, I'll fly to the next one. Or
with your boyfriend?
Who do you do it with?
Wait, with your boyfriend?
No. So I have a weird thing about him coming to shows. So he
doesn't
laugh at me. He doesn't laugh at me when I'm on stage. Like I can get him roaring at home, but when I'm on stage, he says, "Oh, I just know what you're gonna say. Like I can predict it. Like I just know." And I'll see him in the audience. He's just like this. 1,050 people are peeing themselves, and you're just straight faced. I can't. Like that's where I draw my line. I'm like, I can't. No. So if he comes to shows, he has to go all the way in the back. Whatever. But when I'm on the road, I tell him, I'm like, baby, I'm working. I don't go to. I don't go to.
How long are you?
So wait, who do you travel with? Are you all alone?
No, I have a tour manager who comes with me. Yep, and I'm not like cat and nat status. All right, let me tell you what I do clubs and theaters, but the clubs got the heartbeat still. You know what I mean? So like as a comedian, you have? Did you like them?
We had to do it. We had to do a smaller run.
Okay. No. That's how it goes.
Like, it felt so weird because we need the stage, and we have a DJ.
It was like,
and you have strippers.
No.
Yes.
No.
Not.
You did.
We didn't. We couldn't bring them. No, it was really
to the comedy clubs. You couldn't.
Well, number one, the stage is like this big,
which is great for one,
right?
Yeah.
And then we had a DJ with us, but it's really hard. You can't see them. Like you can't feel them. They're like little tables. They're separated. We find when they're jam-packed together, the energy of the group, it's like
there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Pack mentality just as a kindergarten class.
Yep, for sure. And it is there's definitely a huge difference there too, but like as a comic being like loyal to the clubs, and then knowing what it's like to go to a club of 500 seats and there's 4 people in the audience, and now being able to go to a club and sell out 5 shows over a weekend, like that is like okay, all right.
Do you think that you'd ever, like, you know how in like what do they call it? I mean, I know you know them. They're in New York and LA. What's it called?
The comedy clubs.
Comedy clubs.
Is it, but like the name, the what, like the
Cellar?
Yeah. Would you like go, and would you die, or would you?
So the Cellar, you actually have to be passed. So you have to be like a New York comic living in New York, and you have to. That's where you come up, and then you get passed to the at the cellar.
Like
so
the
that's
Grand
never
Old
gonna be
Opry
my
for
truth.
music
It's
singers.
very that.
You know, also as a comedian, you guys have a set, and we don't, like, you guys have a like a 1, 2, 3, like, you know, your set, right? Like, and for us, we never know what we're gonna say when we go on stage. Like, we don't have a script, we don't have a like nothing. We just go. And I think
Now,
that
do you guys have segments?
Yes.
Like as like games or something?
No
games, but there's definitely like, so our team
I love you guys.
has how it's supposed to go. And every time that we come backstage for halftime, they're like, no, you got, because we're like,
sometimes I'll miss something, and like usually I miss something, I go to something else, and that's like, well, actually we have to go back and do that other thing. And I'm like, right, we missed something, sorry about that, we have to go back and do that other thing. Or she goes, or you meant to say this, and I'm like, yeah, I meant to say that. And after
halftime, our tour manager and everyone's like, could you guys just like try and stay on, because we're trying to follow you and we can't do like the video behind your head if you're throwing to something else. Could you just try? We're like, we'll do our best.
And I'm a total lush and a lightweight, and that's like a heavier drinker of the two of us. So she can drink all afternoon and be a little bit shit can before we go on stage. But
I do not drink all afternoon before going on stage.
We start at like 2.
No, in life I start at 2.
Okay, 4.
Not on tour.
4.
No.
7.
If we go on stage at 8, 7, yes. With a little cocktailing before that.
Okay, I was like, I don't know where I've been my whole life that she starts at 7.
Do you drink?
Oh yeah, heavily.
Oh, because
before you go on.
Sometimes I have
it's a slippery
learned,
slope for comedians.
Yeah,
but I want to say, Nat always has the whole run of show and the shit together. She knows exactly what's happening. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna go out there. She's like, just go out there, Kitty. I'm like, all right, we got this.
That's
because we can't have two of us too controlled.
Can I just say something right now? And this might be, but like, if we go to where he is,
he's got to come on with us.
Thank you.
Where are you?
Seattle.
I don't know. We go to, but you could always jump over to Vancouver.
Wouldn't that be some shit if we were touring and we were like in the same city on accident? That'd be amazing.
Any city on accident and having you come out like and talk.
Just don't go to Lollapalooza this year. Save your dates. Don't go to Lollapalooza. I can even say
if we could do a little collab on a stage. I mean, we have weirdos. Yeah. My neighbors are such fucking weirdos. If Dateline shows up at my door and knocks and goes, "Do you think your neighbors are weird?" I'm gonna be like, 1,000% have a seat on my couch. Will tell you how fucking weird they are. That's where we're at.
Joe, it's getting dark. So this is what I want to say.
I love you.
Will you ever teach another grade except kindergarten, or does kindergarten have your heart? It's 5 quick questions. Kindergarten's forever?
I taught 4th grade for the longest. Then I've taught everything except for 1st and 2nd. And I always wanted to teach kindergarten. So I taught everything else for the longest time. And then I quit my job for a year because they wouldn't let me teach kindergarten. Came back and was like, it's kindergarten or bust. When I got in kindergarten, I was like, this is my motherfucking place. I will never teach anything else.
Why do you love kindergarten?
Nothing makes me laugh harder than the random shit that kids say and write.
He's looking for content.
Okay.
It's honestly, it's not content. It's the fact that it's just, it like fills my soul.
Yes.
And the fact that
I love speaking with small children.
She loves
so much too.
Would you ever retire from teaching and go full-time bust on comedy?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Because the fact of the matter is, well, the fact of the matter is too, is that like, I believe that you can be passionate and love 2 things, and the one that's going to take you farther is the one that you will follow, but it doesn't mean that you love or care about anything less. So when I do kill it and slay it in comedy and start to really go even bigger than what's happening now, I'm always going to have the teachers' backs. I'm always going to support the teachers. I'm always going to give back to the teachers and bring them in the best light that I can. So I won't be losing that part about myself.
What's next?
After what?
What's next? What's next?
What's the dream?
What's next?
What's the dream?
What's next?
What's the dream?
I'm in the process of what could be next now.
No, don't say what could be. Like,
what will be next. What will be next. It's
So
weird
this
because there's a lot of
podcast.
gatekeepers in front of you that I need to impress in order for my next really big goal to take off. But I think I got this. I think I've proven myself. And I'm not cocky, but I'm confident, and I know that I have like a message and the presence to like deliver that message. So I think that my next step's gonna happen really, really soon. I'm actually really excited about it.
Dude, it's great. God, honestly, I like you so much.
I love you guys. I can't wait to have cocktails. Done.
And then we'll bring Jake. Imagine Jake and you and us all together having cocktails.
I'm 1 million.
And then also we would love you to do.
Have you guys met in real life?
No.
Oh,
never.
My
Been friends for years. Been friends for years. Never met in real life.
Love
Isn't that crazy?
you to do a set in one of our shows on kindergarten kids, because like everyone would freaking pee their pants, shit their pants.
Can I tell you one thing that was said to me this week? One kindergarten thing that was said to me.
What?
It is the best when they come up to you and they're like, "I'm not supposed to say this, but
yes,
this is what it was. I'm not supposed to say this, but my mom told me I was born in the toilet." I was like, what does this even mean? What does this even mean?
What did you say to them?
I just said, "Oh, okay, go have a seat." And then later I put it together that I think that's her mom's way of calling her a little shit. You were born in a toilet.
I'm gonna tell you, we were in the kindergarten line, and there's a kid that Natalie knows.
I'm gonna do that this week to my fucking shit.
We were in the kindergarten line, and we're all standing there, and they're like, the kindergartens on Monday have something like big always to say, and like she's trying to check them all in because of fucking COVID, and all I hear is this one kid through the fence going, "Miss Mammon, Miss Mammon, Miss Mammon." The teacher's trying to talk to a parent. All the kids are waiting. "Miss Mammon, Miss Mammon." She's like, "Yes, I'll be right with you." "Miss Mammon, Miss Mammon, I have to tell you something. I really have to tell you something." "Okay, yes, what is it?" "So and so." And he's like, "Did you know 2 men can have a baby?" Like in the, and and she was like this. Yep. "Yes, I did know that."
Here's the most fucked up shit about that.
She goes, "Yes, I did know that."
We live in the big city of Toronto.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, it's a big city.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know what the population of Detroit is compared to Toronto, but it's a big city. That kid lives on my street, and my neighbors are getting their baby in 2 weeks, and they're 2 men.
Yeah.
And I told the parents, I'm like, I had to tell them what he said. And they're like, "Oh my God, well, I don't even know if we've spoken to him about it." I'm like,
he knows about it.
Everybody knows. Look,
bye.
All of us, Michael and Jason, are receiving their baby on the end of May.
It was literally the funniest shit ever. He like had to stop the conference. "Please stop talking. Please stop. 2 men can have a baby." And she's like, "Thank you. I actually did know
that." Brilliant.
Thank you for fucking sharing.
And it's always, "Did you know that?" It's always, "Did you know?" I had another kid this week straight up told me, she's like, "Mr. D, when I grow up, I want to be a praying mantis so I can eat my husband's head off." I was like, good for you. Women's empowerment. This is great. You're amazing. Right about it.
Can I ask you something else? Like, not that it's my business at all.
Yeah.
But just the fact that you fucking love kids, and it doesn't matter if you love kids, because a lot of people that love kids are teachers and they would never want children. Do you want children?
Yes, absolutely. I'm destined. I'm destined to be a dad. 100%. We actually, Morgan, my partner, and I, on our very first date, we both had it on our list to ask each other, and we did, but we both admitted later on that if either one of us said no, we weren't going to go on another date.
Thank God you said yes, because that's very vulnerable to share that information with a stranger.
No. Yeah, but they were going to end it if it wasn't.
But they could have lied, both of them, and be like, "No, don't press the other to guess what you want. No, I don't know."
Yep. Nope. We are definitely on the kid train. We know exactly how we're going to do it, and we're like ready to rock.
So you're teaching in Detroit. We have a show in Detroit.
No, he's not teaching.
Oh, he's in Seattle.
But Detroit is home, so I can get to Detroit that. When's your Detroit?
We'll give you our Detroit date. We'll give you our Detroit date.
Have you announced your tour yet?
Yeah, we have our tour.
All of our dates are out. Cat and Nat tour.
Except Detroit.
It's not on fucking sale yet.
No.
You know what theater you're playing?
Yeah, it's a big. It's a casino. It's the big casino.
Which one? MGM.
The one that is it the Harem?
No. Listen, I'm fucking there.
Okay,
my God.
It's the big one with the big theater, and it's connected.
This is a perfect collab. Every city we can get you in, let's
do this.
You guys are the best. This is awesome.
All right. And then we'll invite Jake as a special backstage guest.
We appreciate you for coming. Thank you for making this happen.
And thank you for having us. This was so fun.
Oh my God, this is fantastic. I'm so glad we got to meet.
I don't want to say goodbye, and I would like to have you over on Saturday night for dinner. But until then, let's meet in cities and do shows together.
I love it. I love it. Thank you guys for having me too.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.